Good evening. It is just about 2:30 in the morning on July 6th. I can't sleep again. I don't know what's going on with the temperature stuff. It's going to be 90 degrees today, and that is just way too hot for me to function. I know I'm going to be going out for a little bit to go to Walmart, so I will have some time in an air-conditioned motor vehicle while I go there, as well as in the air-conditioned Walmart, so that's kind of nice. I start work tomorrow. The shift is 10 a to 7 p. I am, at least for the next 5 to 6 weeks, going to be taking the bus there. And with that, that will be a thing that will mean it takes me a little while to actually get there and back. It's kind of a far bus ride, so I don't know what's going to happen in terms of content creation, what's going to happen in terms of other things. What I do know is that my current plan is to continue looking for jobs that are closer to me simply because between this and with school, I need that. I do have information on a potential vehicle to be purchasing in the next couple of weeks between my paychecks coming up. I got to catch up on some bills. They're not that far behind. It's like 15 days late on one of them, and literally just one, and it was a credit card I forgot about until they called, and I was like, oh, that's right, I didn't actually pay that off. I forgot that I didn't pay it off. Plan is to pay that off over the next couple of paychecks. And then I also have a secured credit card that I plan on paying off and then taking the deposit money back from it and opening a secured account with my actual bank for probably about $500 more. Simply because this credit card has not been great. The interest rate's been a little high, and unfortunately, there's been just issues because the card doesn't have tap to pay or a what's it called, or a chip in the card. So I plan on paying it off and then opening up a new secured card with my bank as I continue to build my credit. So that's kind of fun. I went to a friend's house yesterday for 4th of July. Uh, 2 days ago, actually, I went to a friend's house Friday night for 4th of July. That was pretty epic. I got to see their snake, and by snake, I literally mean their hognose snake. It was his third birthday, and he was really cool. I got to see him. He was burrowing, but he snuck his little head out, which was really cute. I think snakes are kind of cool. I don't really think I could ever see myself as like a reptile mom, but I do like having pets. I currently have a cat and a dog, and I like them both. They're both very cool. For the most part, for my early part of my life, I had dogs and fish. Um, we had a dog when I was, well, my grandparents had a dog when I was born who unfortunately died not too long after I was born. I think she was 3. And then we ended up getting grandparents ended up getting a border collie who was really cool, who was around till I was, I think, till I was 16. She was a really nice dog. I miss that dog still. It's been almost 15 years now since she died, but yeah, that's a whole thing. Um, Not being able to sleep in the heat is a thing that I definitely need to talk about with both my medical doctor and my psychiatrist, because there's a potential that it could be from either my mental health medication or my physical health medications, and just knowing that means that just hey, talking to both of them is probably a good idea. I'm on duloxetine, which is Cymbalta, and because of that, if it's over like 70 degrees, it gets really bad for me. I actually suffered some acute dehydration about 2 weeks ago, and because of that, I was having a really hard time with a lot of stuff. Um, like, not good at all. I was not happy about it because it gave me a headache. I ended up drinking a lot of water, milk, some Gatorade, some Propel. What I can tell you is that soda does not dehydrate you, but it also doesn't rehydrate you. Um, I like having Pedialyte in the house. I don't currently. Once I get my first paycheck, I'm planning on buying about 10 just to have as a store of just a, hey, when I feel maybe it's getting a little too hot, just toss that Pedialyte back or maybe some liquid IV. I'm not 100% sure. It's one of those things where I've got a lot of thinking to do. I finished the Dungeon Meshi anime the other day. I thought that was amazing. I am absolutely excited for the next season to come out. I might finish up the manga. I thought the anime went the whole way through. And then I've got a couple of animes that I've got in my to be watched list. And I'm probably going to watch an episode or two on the way to work because that's a thing I can do with my phone. Because Crunchyroll supports mobile, which is really cool. So does Netflix. So it really depends. There's a couple of short animes that I'm considering, a couple of longer animes, Apothecary Diaries, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, maybe a rewatch of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Some of it, probably Battle City or Awaken the Dragons. Both of those arcs were really good. I've been playing a lot of Balatro. It's my most played game of the year with over 120 hours in it, which I'm genuinely shocked that I've played that much, but I have. I've also been playing NASCAR Rivals and MLB The Show. Next video game I plan on buying is Bayonetta 2 and Bayonetta 3, so that'll be fun. Which actually, I gotta do a Bayonetta review at some point. I'll do that probably tomorrow or the next day. I don't actually know. It was a super fun game. I played it first on very easy, and now I'm playing on easy, and then I'll play it on normal later, which I think will be fun to do. And I'm actually considering cosplaying Bayonetta at the next con I go to, which, based on everything right now, I believe the next con I go to will be in either November or September. Not 100% sure. And then, of course, I've got a cosplay for Halloween, figuring that out and everything. I don't know what it'll be, but yeah, it's one of those things that you gotta think about. It's been a pretty good week for the Mariners. 2 straight shutouts. You'll see my recap video up here in about 7, 8, 10 hours. And you can actually see it on Patreon for $1 now because I put a $1 monthly supporter fee. Because really, realistically, right now, the only thing I do on Patreon is just the Mariners videos up earlier. Something I'd love to be able to do on Patreon is just to say, hey, videos come out early here, or maybe an exclusive video on Patreon every month or two, something like that, or every other month, every other week, or something. The problem is I don't make enough money from content creation right now to justify any sort of like large fee for Patreon, which does means I don't make enough to justify me actually going and doing those things, which is fine. I enjoy making content. It's a hobby for me. So I don't necessarily need to make money. I in fact, my entire first year on social media, 2020, I made $0. And then in 2021, I made like 3,000 because I had a really good year with 68 million views on TikTok, which was a great year. I'm nowhere near that this year. I mean, I still average 30 million per year, which is really nice. That's when you really break it down and think about it, 30 million per year is a lot. Because it's 26 million per year to average 500K, or it's 26 million in a year to average 500K a week. And then it's 52 million to average 1 million per week. I'm thinking about reintroducing my analytics series that I've had in the past. Because that would actually be something really cool. It could add to the analytics, which would be fun. Problem is that it works best when you start it at the beginning of the year. And yeah, and unfortunately one of my spreadsheets got deleted, which was really bad. But I'd probably just do it at the beginning of the year because for right now I can just add up all the data at the end of the year and it'll just be there. And then at the beginning of next year, I'm like, oh, here's all the data, and I have all the data from this year and the previous years, and then I just make the spreadsheet for next year. I think that might actually work out best. I have a couple of job interviews coming up. I have a phone interview on Tuesday after work, um, which will be interesting because it's for a restaurant manager position near the mall. I can't remember if it's like on the mall property or like 2 or 3 blocks away, but either way, it's pretty cool to say that, hey, I know how to get there super easy. Um, I've done a lot in restaurants, I've done a lot in hospitality and tourism. That was originally my major when I started back in college, back in 2022. But then I just did not enjoy the classes because the classes were not intellectually stimulating at all. And so a mentor of mine ended up telling me to switch majors, and I wasn't sure what to switch majors to. Eventually, I switched to English and then English education. My degree is just in English, and then I'm getting an EDM, which is a type of master's degree in education, without getting a certification to teach English, because just based on the things that I've seen in the grad school of education, I'm not in the mood to do that. Just my school is very much pushing AI. I also recently found out that Google Classroom is going to be adding an AI feature to it, and because of that, I don't think that it's a place or a thing I want to deal with. I'm very much against generative AI. Now, in terms of other AI, other AI, like the AI that StatCast uses, you feed it a very specific set of data. That's an AI that I think is cool. The AI that was originally supposed to be trained to identify bread. I think it was croissants versus some other type of bread that they fed it the right data, and it ended up being able to identify cancer. Okay, cool, because honestly, that's a lot better than humans being able to do that. Obviously, we're always going to need humans to review the data. There's always going to be false positives and false negatives, things like that, which we have right now. For example, like with Cologuard. Um, I guess there's a study in preprint, either in preprint or um, pre peer review, that said that Cologuard was actually like 75% effective at actually identifying colon cancer, which is pretty cool. I still kind of am grossed out by the concept of mailing your poop. I don't fully understand how it works, but yeah. And I'd rather just do the colonoscopy. You get some really nice, you just get some anesthesia and they monitor you and they stick the camera up there. And as they do that, they can remove polyps. And because of that, yeah, I think that's a better way of actually dealing with it for me personally. Like if I were to say, "Hey doc, I have these symptoms," and they said, "Well, it might be colon cancer," I'd say, "Can I get a colonoscopy, please?" If they wanted me to do Cologuard, I'd do it, but I'd really push for the colonoscopy because yeah, um, I am finishing the master's degree because I'm like almost there, if that makes sense. Like it was only 33 credits for a master's, and I have 15 already, so I need 18 more. And with that, it's not the end of the world to get that. In terms of that, it's I have one class this summer semester and two in the fall, which totals six. The summer was part of the 15, so 6 plus 15 is 21, which would mean I'd have like 13 credits left, so I could do 6. I could maybe do a fall class. Yeah, I think I'm definitely sure that there's going to be a way to figure it out and make sure I actually graduate by next summer. Because I'm only doing part time, and by doing part time, I think that'll be absolutely great, and I'm very happy about that. Other things that are going on in life with me is Grandpa is still not doing great, which obviously we knew he wasn't going to recover. He's got, I think, stage 4 bladder cancer, along with the dementia. He's been bedridden. He's been on hospice for about 9 months, and we're essentially just waiting for him to pass, which is just it's difficult for me to put it into words what that exactly means, but essentially, Grandpa is just sitting there suffering and in pain. The other day, he actually told Grandma he was in pain, so Grandma ended up giving one of the morphine tablets that hospice gave him, and because of that, he probably had a little bit less pain, a little bit more comfortable. And his chronic blood pressure medication, the doctor took him off of it because his blood pressure was incredibly low, like low enough that his organs weren't being perfused with oxygen, and because of that, he needed to be on to no blood pressure medication. This was after going from it being a chronic high dose to being cut in half to now it's none. And that just, in my opinion, non-medical opinion, makes me think that he is likely on the way out, especially with the fact that he's been sleeping a lot. Like a lot, like almost half the day. Now, to be fair, I've been doing a lot of sleeping, but it's been a little bit different. It's more of a, not just a depression thing, because my depression's been doing okay. It's more of a, oh, you are a human. Humans are endurance based apex predators, and it's too hot for your adaptation of sweating to work because of the humidity and the fact that you're on a medication that makes it messed up. I'm worried that when Grandpa passes, there will be a lot of stuff that needs to happen. Obviously, there will be a funeral, a wake, all that stuff. Grandma already set that all up. Grandma and Mom already set that all up. And with that, it was a thing that was, I'm not 100% sure how they did it, but the fact that it's set up means that's less stuff I have to do. I'll probably just have to go to the funeral. And I know when he passes, Grandma or Mom has to call hospice. And with that, it's super not great, because that's probably going to be a phone call where both of them will be emotional. Uh, so that might mean I have to call hospice because, like, that's a thing I often do if people in the family can't make the phone calls. I'll just make it for them because I'm like, hey, yep, okay, I can do that. And yeah. Um, Planning on buying a Switch 2 after a couple of paychecks. I really wanted one right away at launch, but the only game that was really on there was Mario Kart 9, and I really want to play that, but that wasn't really worth the 450, and I couldn't get a pre-order off. If I had gotten a pre-order off, I would have been super excited. Uh, it's been way too hot to actually do anything today, or even this week. So that's unfortunate because I wanted to like go outside and just sort of hang outside and look at the garden, look at the trees. Possibly there's a park not too far from my house. I've been thinking about going there. They close at dusk these days, so that's a whole thing. It's like 9 p.m. And they open at dawn, which is at like 7 a.m. So that's a good 14 hours of time you can go to the park, which is pretty nice. I get why they do it. It's because there's too many issues in parks that have happened over the past probably 10, 15 years, including the park that I'm talking about used to have a carnival, and they stopped doing it because there was far too much happening. That was of the needing the police variety, and that was not fun. Nobody wants to deal with the police at a carnival when they can just have fun. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to follow me on my other platforms if you're interested. And just as an FYI, with fantasy football season coming up, I do offer cameos for picking your fantasy football draft order.